folks, in this video we're going to go over how to solve a system of linear equations. Okay, so this one is a higher level than the ones you've done previously, so this is like a level 3 style system. Okay, so notice that there are these two linear equations right here. They're both equal to y. Right, so this is y equals to 4x minus 30, and this is y equals negative 3x plus 5. Okay, the way I like to do it is I always look at the top one and I go, well, this top one right here, okay, notice that it says y equals to something, right? So what I do is I take this something and I'm going to replace it in here, right there. So essentially here's how it's going to look like. So I take this, right, because this is y equals 4x minus 3, and I'm going to substitute it in here. Okay, hence that's why it's called the substitution method. Okay, so again what I do is I take this part here that I'm underlining in black, and I rewrite it over here on the side, equals negative 3x plus 5. Okay, and then this part right here, since I'm going to replace it here for y because y equals 4x minus 30, it's going to go there on the left side. So I write 4x minus 30. Okay, now this should look familiar to you because it's like the multi-step equations we were doing last week, right? Notice that they have x's and numbers that don't have x, so you have to decide where do you want the x's, either on the left side or the right side. That way you're able to solve for x. So what I'm going to do is this side right here, put the x's on the left side and the numbers on the right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rewrite it now that I made that decision. So I have 4x minus 30 equals to negative 3x plus 5. Okay, so now that I have that going, okay, I want to move this here over to this side because that's where I want the x's to go. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add something to negative 3x so it could become a 0, and I'm going to add a positive 3x. Okay, and whatever I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other. So I have this going here. So what I'm going to do now is combine these like terms. So I combine these like terms here and then these like terms here. Alright, so if I combined negative 3x plus 3x, I get a giant 0, so that's gone. And on the right side, I'm left with just the 5. And I say 5 because you see how it has that plus sign here, that makes it a positive 5. So I'm just going to write a positive 5 there. And then on the right, on the left, I mean, I have a positive 4 and a positive 3. So that's a party, okay, positive party. So I add those up and I get 7x. And then I just bring down the minus 30. Okay. Again, I want the numbers on the right side, okay, and the x's on the left. So notice the x's are here, but this doesn't have an x, so I have to move it over to this side. So the way I do that is that I'm subtracting a 30, so I do the opposite of that, which is add a 30, which will cause a giant 0. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, so I add 30 to keep it balanced. And now I could combine like terms. Okay, right here makes a giant 0. So on the left side, I'm left with just 7x, okay, equals 2. And then I go ahead and combine these terms together. So 5 plus 30 gives me 35. 35. Okay? And then our last step, as we discussed many times, right? When they're stuck together, they're multiplying. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by a 7 on both sides. Okay? And the reason is because it creates a giant 1 here. So this is 7 divided by 7 is 1. So I have 1x is equal to, and then 35 divided by 7 is 5. Okay? But remember our criteria for success. We need an ordered pair. We need an x value and a y value. So far I only found the x value, which is 5, but I am missing this y value. Unlike the level 1 style questions, notice that nothing is giving me the answer. So what we're going to do is what we did with the level 2 questions. It's like, okay, then I have to plug in the x into one of these two equations. Okay, I'm going to decide to plug it into the first equation, so I'm going to replace the x with a 5. So what I'm going to do is open up another slide, and this will help me figure out what the y value is, because I want to figure out what y value is. It's there. Okay, so I'm going to write a let statement. Let x equal 5. And again, I got that from here. Okay, just a quick reminder, I got it from here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. So this is the one I chose. So you could choose any one of them, but I'm going to choose the top one because it's on top. Okay, so I'm going to write it here, and I'll have y is equal to 4, and instead of x, I'm going to put parentheses, just like we did before, but then I have the minus 30. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is plug in the 5 right there, because again, the x was there, so instead of x, I'm going to put 5. Okay, and then I'm going to start working this out here. So I'll have y is equal to 4 times 5 is 20 minus 30. Okay, and then 20 minus 30 is going to give me negative 10. Okay, so now I have a y value and I have an x value. So now I could write my ordered pair. Here's my ordered pair. Here's my x and y. Remember, it goes in alphabetical order. So my my x is 5, and my y value is going to be negative 10. Okay, and again, I want you to check your work. So what I do is I go here to the document, and I click Desmos. Okay, and then I'm going to plug this in right here. So I have y equals 4x minus 30. So I type in y equals 4x minus 30. Okay, and then I type in the other one right here, y equals negative 3x plus 5. So I type in here, y equals negative 3x plus 5. Okay, so it's going to intersect somewhere in the bottom, it seems, because see how the blue line goes downward and then the red line goes upward here. So I'm just going to go down here. Then I notice that it does hit at positive 5 and negative 10. Okay, so what you do is just take a screenshot of the graph. You put it in here, and you would take a picture of your work, which is these two slides here, and you would put it in this box here. So that's what you're going to do with today's assignment. Okay, notice additional steps, but it's the same concept that you want to find out where the two lines intersect.